As we talked about at the top of the show, we're here at Middletown Cycling, and one of the things we're talking about today are bikes for the kiddos. You remember those days?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Those were some fun times, so take a look at this. Well, we're back again at Middle of Town Cycling, which is right off of the Waterson Expressway at Bardstown Road and Gardner Lane, right behind the Sullivan Bakery. I don't know why I mess that up every time, but this is where we are. And we're back again talking with you, Nira, about bikes. And this time our focus is on the little people.
Yes. Well, it's summer's here, so we got to get those kids out and on their bikes. And if they don't have a bike, this is a good time to get one.
So when you're looking at little people, is it too early to put them on a two-wheeler, or what are you all's recommendations?
No, never too early. I think once they know how to walk, I think they should be on a bike.
So tell us about some of the bikes you have here today.
As you can see, the bikes start at what they call a 12-inch bike for kids. So the size of the wheel is a 12-inch. And those are typically for kids who are between 3 and 4 years old. And then you always, can graduate. We do a trade-in program. So once your child has grown out of that bike, you can bring back the bike here, and you can trade it in towards a bigger, newer bike.
Okay, when I'm looking at little people's bikes, I remember back in the day there was like training wheels, but I've also seen the bikes where they're kind of like pushing along. So is there one way better than the other? And tell us about that.
For the most part, the push bike came around where they have no pedals, they have no cranks, and basically the idea is for them to learn how to balance themselves. The good thing about that is once they are familiar with how to balance themselves, you usually don't need training wheels, and they're usually off. With training wheels, it is a bit of a learning curve. I would say they're more it works for some kids and it doesn't work for a lot of other kids, so you just have to kind of pick which one's best for your child.
So tell us what we're looking at today. And as we see the really for the miniature little people coming up to, I guess, maybe second, third grade or older.
Yeah, and again, it also depends on how quickly your child is growing. If you have if your child that doesn't grow quickly or is not as tall, then the best thing to do is just bring your child in here, let them ride a couple of bikes, see which one fits them well, and then you can kind of go from there.
And I'm assuming with these bikes, we're not dealing with gears or anything. It's just a crank.
Correct. So at some point, you will start introducing gears on bikes, and you want to start introducing handbrakes. But then again, is choices. So at some point, you'll have a choice of either getting a bike with gears or no gears, or getting a bike with brakes or coaster brakes. So it just kind of depends on which route you want to take.
And in terms of precautions and bike safety, should you still be wearing helmets, knee pads, and what's your recommendations?
Definitely wear a helmet. That is absolutely required. But other than that, no, let the kids just have fun on it. Yeah.
And so if kids not kids, but if parents are bringing their kids over here, you've got a huge parking lot where they can go outside and test?
Absolutely. We have the parking lot just outside, and we have a parking lot on the side that's pretty big enough where we'll let you wear a helmet and go and see if you like a bike.
And I know you all do a whole lot as it relates to making sure the bike's a perfect fit for adults. And my assumption is that you're doing the exact same thing for kids.
Yeah, same thing. The kids are no different than the adults. So we size them, we make sure they like the bike. There are different color options, and they can pick whichever one they feel comfortable on.
And so if someone wants more information, what should they do?
Call us at Middle of Town Cycling, 502-882-2453, or look us up online, middleoftowncycling.com.
It's really nice to see all the advancements that have been made in terms of technology and just biking for kids, a lot more safer and just a lot more options.
It's different, but it's still fun, and I enjoy seeing these little kids on the bikes.
Yeah, and one thing I forgot to ask, are tricycles still a thing?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah,
Dennis the Menace.
Yeah, I definitely remember that. We'll take another break and back with more.